Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to today's School Spotlight. I'm Mackenzie Zach from applywave, and I'm so excited to be here with you all again today. I'm just going to wait a few seconds to see if anyone's joining us in live. And for those of you live viewers, this session is going to be recorded. So if you need to jump out for any reason, you'll be able to come back and watch the video either on our Facebook page or our YouTube channel or directly on applywave. So without further ado, I'm really excited to welcome Rachel from Western New England University, our special guest today. So welcome, Rachel. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Mackenzie. Hi, everyone. So great to meet you all. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm really excited to be here.
Awesome. I'm really tongue-tied today for some reason, so hopefully I won't stumble through this interview. But I'm really excited to meet with you. I know for our viewers, you guys don't know this, but we've tried to make this live stream happen a few times, and it's finally happening, and I'm so excited because I think Western New England University is a really interesting option for some international students. But first of all, Rachel, tell us a little bit about the location. You know, Massachusetts, I think, is a state that a lot of students have heard of. They may not have been there, but they've heard of it because, you know, there are a lot of higher education institutions in Massachusetts. Boston is in Massachusetts. So can you tell us a little bit about where Western New England University is?
Yeah, definitely. So this is actually one of my favorite features of the university. It's kind of one of our distinct selling points, I like to say. So if you've never been to the US before, Massachusetts is in the Northeast corridor. So our campus is located about an hour and a half outside of Boston and about 3 hours away from New York City. So when you're looking at the map of New England, we're just a straight shot, like I said, an hour and a half to downtown Boston. And there's a lot of other big cities like Hartford and Albany and Portland, Maine. So unlike states like California, where you drive through the entire state and it takes maybe 12 hours to get from one end to the other, New England is very small, so you can get a lot of different places in a short amount of time. And yeah, I love that it's so close to Boston because you can easily go into the city. So you can go and see shows, you can do a lot of tourist activities. It's a big hub for flying in and out from coming international. But we're not in a city, right? So we're on more of a suburban and residential campus. So we're close enough, you can get into the city and do all those fun and exciting things. But once you're done exploring the city, you can come back to campus, you can relax in your housing. You're not like right in the middle of all the hustle and bustle, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And you're in Springfield, right?
That's right. Yeah. So Springfield is the third largest city in the state of Massachusetts. And it's still a large city, so there's still a lot to do. Our campus is just about 10 minutes from that downtown hub. And in Springfield, there's so much to do. If you're interested in the outdoors, we have a lot of like hiking trails and biking trails. Our Springfield is right along a river, so you can go boating or kayaking or swimming. And then in the city, there's a lot of opportunities to, go see theater. We have a casino. There's lots of restaurants and coffee shops, lots of shopping. So definitely a lot to do in Springfield.
That's awesome. And I think one thing, just to kind of backtrack a little bit when you were talking about the New England states, I think a good point of reference when I think about the New England states, I think it's kind of like Europe, where there are all these tiny little states. So like you were saying, it's really easy to travel to all these different places because you're not that far away from any major city, really, just because of your location. So yeah, for students who are from Europe, it's kind of similar where you can travel across state lines instead of country lines and, get to wherever you want to go. And then it's nice to know that right in Springfield, you also have things to do. What do students typically do on the weekends, though? I mean, do they usually go in town or do they stay on campus?
So that's a good question. Yeah, I think the majority of students stay on campus. There's so much going on. Our activities board, they've actually committed that every Friday and Saturday night, there will be some sort of on-campus event. So every single weekend, if a student comes and they maybe don't have a car, or they don't want to go downtown, there's always something going on campus. So like this past weekend, I think they had they had a Super Bowl viewing party on Sunday night. So our campus center, everybody was socially distant and everyone was safe, but everyone came in and watched the Super Bowl. It was projected up on a big screen for students, and they had pizza and popcorn and soda and all this fun stuff. So yeah, I think a lot of students stay on campus on the weekend. If they want to go shopping or go out to eat or go downtown, I mean, it's definitely popular, but it wouldn't be it wouldn't be every weekend. That's certainly not the expectation because we're not in a downtown setting. We're kind of outside the city and up on a hill. It's just such a good campus community.
Yeah. And I love that. I know some students may, if they've never been to the US or never seen a US university before, that might be something that they're not aware of, that there are some schools where students stay on campus on the weekends and some schools where students don't stay on campus on the weekends. And I think if you're an international student, you're going to want to be at a school where students stay on campus on the weekends, because that means your friends are there. That means there's something happening. You're not going to be bored. When I was in college, my university was also one of those campuses where everybody stayed there on the weekends. And I remember, just like with my friends, if someone had to go home for something, it was like, oh, I don't want to go home. I don't want to miss this weekend. Like, it was major FOMO, missing, you didn't want to miss what's going to happen on campus on the weekend. So I think that's cool that you have that same experience. And it's something that, outside of the academics, it makes it so fun and enriching for students, just to have that vibe of everybody's hanging around. There's always something to do. You're always going to see people. Now, tell me about the campus itself, because I was looking online and you guys have a pretty beautiful campus, right? Like, you said it's kind of in a residential area, but, there's a hill. Are there trees? Are they, what's it look like? What's it look like when you're walking around on a regular day?
Yeah, I love this question because if you've never been to the US, the fall time, which is September, October, and November, is the most beautiful time of like the entire year in New England, because basically the trees will change color, the leaves will change color. So the leaves are bright orange and red and yellow, and people come from all over the US just to come to New England to drive around and look at the trees and look at the foliage because it's so beautiful. So because we're in New England, we have access to all of that beauty right on our campus. Because it is residential, because it is a little bit more of a community feel, you don't see these huge skyscrapers as you're walking around. So you really feel like you're home. It's mid-size. So what I mean by mid-size is that you won't ever have to take a bus from one end of campus to the other end of campus. I know some institutions are really huge, and students can sometimes get lost and they need to take a bus, or they need to drive from one end of campus to the other end. At Western New England, it's mid-size. So it's not like you're just going from your dorm to your classroom, but you may go from your dorm, you'll pass by the campus center, you'll pass by the library, maybe the gym to get to the classroom. And it's all very beautiful and picturesque once you're walking through campus. So it's very safe. We actually have these blue boxes. You may have heard about this at other institutions, where if you're walking home, maybe from the University Commons or from the library, and you're going back to your dorm room and you feel unsafe for whatever reason, you can go up to one of these blue boxes and press the button, and that calls public safety, and they're alerted right away. Okay, a student is on campus, they might feel unsafe, or it's dark, or they lost their keys, and then they'll come right away. So that makes it feel very safe. I know it definitely helped me when, just walking home. Just good to know that it's there.
Yeah. And that's 24/7, right? So like, even if someone's walking home at 3:00 in the morning.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's really nice. And I think if there are any parents watching, if you're nervous about sending your son or daughter away, especially if they're, this is their first taste of freedom, it's good to know that there is the security net in place to make sure, you're safe at all times, especially for women too, walking around. Sometimes it can be a little nerve-wracking. So it's good. Definitely a good thing to point out. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the international students on campus. So tell me about the international student population. Do you have students coming from one country? Are they from different countries? What's it like?
Yeah, so we're mid-size, right? Which means we have about 4,000 students total, and that includes undergraduate, graduate, domestic, and international. So to me, it's like the perfect size. You won't get lost in with tens of thousands of students, but you also will have this variety of getting to know a lot of other students. So our international student body, we have about 150 international students total on campus. And every term, every year, we get anywhere between 25 and 50 new international students. So this is a really great institution for someone who wants to take on leadership opportunities, maybe get involved in the campus community, share their story with other students. because we don't have tens of thousands of other international students, it's a really good opportunity for students to get involved, like I said, and have those leadership experiences. So we have students come from all over the world. I think our largest populations are from India, Kuwait, Brazil. We have students from Canada, really from all over, and it fluctuates. So it's not like every year we just have the same group of students from the same country. It really is. It's different every year, which I think makes the student population even more diverse and even more special.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. And I mean, even if, I'm so sorry, my dogs are barking in the background. I think I say this on every live stream. So viewers, you guys know I'm a dog lover. The dogs enjoy being on the stream. So I apologize. I wish I could send them to study abroad. Just kidding. No, but that's wonderful. And as you were mentioning, this is a great opportunity for students to be leaders. And it's cool to know that if you are part of a smaller international student community, you're really going to be able to represent your country and be an ambassador for your country. And not only that, you're going to meet people from all over the world. And that really expands your mindset. It expands your horizons. And it's, something that I think employers look for down the line, that you have that cross-cultural competency, as they refer to it. You know how to talk to people from other backgrounds and other cultures, and that's something incredibly valuable. So students, don't be afraid if you hear that a school may have a smaller international student population. That just means you have this opportunity to be a leader, which is incredible. Now, what does Western New England do for, international students when they arrive on campus? First timers coming in, is there a special orientation? How do you guys help with that?
Yeah. So basically, I'm your gal. I'm the one that you're going to be talking to basically until the point you arrive. So I'll help you through the application process, help with any immigration documentation. I'll be checking in once you book your flights, like when do you land, keep us updated. And then before you actually come, like I said, we'll be in constant contact. So we'll send a lot of information about what to do when you arrive, what you can expect, how to move into your housing. What's great is that all of our international students are guaranteed on-campus housing. So that's one thing that is kind of you don't have to worry about that when you arrive. I think some students think they'll come here and then they have to instantly find housing, but we do guarantee housing for all of the students. And they're all on our campus, and we have housing that ranges from like dorm style to a more apartment style where you have a living space and a shared kitchen and all of that. So yeah, once you arrive on campus, we'll welcome you arms wide open. We'll be so happy to see you. We'll help you then move into your accommodation, which we'll have organized ahead of time. Once you have a chance to get settled, we do host an in-person orientation, and it typically lasts about a day is our international student orientation. And that, we'll talk about how to maintain your status as an international student. We'll go through aspects of culture shock, really everything you need to know as an international student. And then you'll transition into the campus-wide orientation. And so campus-wide orientation, you'll have a campus tour. You'll be introduced to your peer advisor, which is a current Western New England student who will help you throughout your entire transition. They'll take you around campus. They'll introduce you to their friends. They'll help you register for classes. And the campus-wide orientation typically lasts 2 to 3 days, and there's lots of fun activities. They have events planned throughout. So you definitely will not arrive and not know what to do. We keep you very busy for the first few days, which I think is a good thing because you're going to want to get to know people and see what the campus is all about.
Definitely. I remember with my orientation back a while ago, it was really fun. Like, you felt silly doing all these, it's like, you're like, okay, I'm an adult. I have to go to these like organized activities. It's going to be so lame, but they're actually really fun because everybody feels goofy and everybody's nervous. People are new there, and it's not like you're joining a high school where everybody's been there for years and it's all the same people. You're going into a group of people where really no one knows each other. So it's a great way to break the ice and start making those friendships and learning about where you're going to be living for the next 2 to 4 years. So that's awesome. Now I want to transition a little bit to talk about the programs. I know you guys have a very wide range of programs that students can get involved in, but what are some of your most popular programs?
Yeah, so for undergraduate students, we have a College of Business, Engineering, Arts and Sciences, a School of Law, and a College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences. So you're right, Mackenzie, that's a lot to choose from. There's over 90 different programs that students can pick. I remember I changed my major a couple times because I just couldn't decide what I wanted to focus on. But some students, they know right off the bat. And so you can see actually on the screen some of our most popular programs. So engineering, for sure, we were recently ranked as a top 100 engineering program by US News and World Report, which we're really excited about.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's huge. And Sleeth Hall is our engineering lab and classroom space. And it's so impressive. Like, we have students come on tour and they're blown away by this engineering building. So we not only have the programs, but we have the infrastructure to support it and really dedicated faculty members. So yeah, engineering is definitely a top program, but I know that that's not for everyone. So a few of the other ones that we get a lot of students for are criminal justice, sports management, health sciences, pre-pharmacy, and psychology. I just want to give a couple examples because I'll tell you why these are so exciting. So criminal justice, there's 4 different concentrations that students can choose. So if you're interested in any aspect of criminal justice, you can specialize in like Homeland Security, law and society, criminal investigation. So there's different concentrations. So you'll kind of have this overarching major of criminal justice, but then a lot of students will actually get internships in Springfield where they're working, they're gaining that hands-on experience within this criminal justice field. Wow. So we have a lot of students that are interested in this one.
Yeah, that is so cool.
Yeah. And then the other one, which I think is really unique, is our sports management program. So it's within our College of Business, and it's pretty straightforward. It's anyone who wants to work in the sports industry, and it can be in any sort of capacity. And every year, actually, or every few years, we have a faculty member who brings students to the Olympics. So this professor used to work on like the communications committee for the Olympics. And of course, this past year and this year, it's a little different, but in future.
But it's cool to know that that's an option, that they might get to do that. I mean,
definitely. Yeah. And I mean, it's for domestic students, international students. It's usually a short-term trip where they'll get that hands-on experience visiting the Olympics, like getting to see what it's like behind the scenes. And then they come back and yeah, really exciting opportunity for
this. That's awesome. Oh my gosh, that's incredible. Can I sign up?
I'm like, I'll go.
So cool. And so, I mean, you mentioned these internship opportunities. Is that something that all students get to do? Does it depend on major? How do those internship opportunities work?
Yeah, it's a great question. So internships are encouraged for all students. So this isn't something that's just for one college. Our business students, they are required to do an internship, whereas the other colleges, it's encouraged, it's recommended. So we have a really dedicated career center who will help every single student find internship sites, craft their resume, reach out to these employers. So they've been doing this for many years, where they have a kind of a database of these internship sites, and so they'll help every student along the way. It's just a really good opportunity to take what you've learned in the classroom and then apply it to the real world. I was a student here many years ago, and I actually had 3 internships during my time here.
Wow.
So I worked in an office on campus, at a business off campus, and then at a nonprofit off campus. So my program didn't require it, but it was something I could do over the summer and then during school. So I got credit for it as well. And yeah, it was just a great opportunity.
Mm-hmm. And you guys are really focused. I mean, taking that one step further, the fact that you encourage students to take these internships, even if it's not required, you can accommodate that, which is really great. But I know you guys take it a step further as far as, after students graduate, you have a really good success with placements, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So there's 2 statistics that I really love. The first one is that last year, so the 2020 graduates, the year before that, 2019 graduates, all of our undergraduate students were employed within 6 months of graduation.
Wow.
So it was like 96% of our College of Engineering students, 95% of our College of Business students. So yeah, we place a really large emphasis on helping students find jobs after they've graduated. So there's very few students who graduate and then, don't end up finding something. And then this is the other one that I love. So according to Zippia.com, which is a career website, they ranked us #1 in the state of Massachusetts and #5 in the nation for helping students get jobs after they graduate. So it just speaks to how large of an emphasis we place on that. Like, we want students to come, have a really great and fun experience, but we also want them to get a job and make money after they've graduated.
Yeah, I mean, that's the ultimate reason why anybody goes to get a degree. I mean, of course, the parents, that's why your students are going. They don't just want to go for the experience. It's good to know that you accommodate that and you have these connections to really help students be successful and put, all the time and money that they've invested in their education, actually put it to practice. And I think that's a wonderful opportunity. Perfect. All right, everyone. So we are about to wrap up our live stream today with Western New England University. If you have any questions, feel free to submit them in the comments section. And while we wait for any comments to come in or any questions, Rachel, do you have any final thoughts? Anything else you'd like to share? I'm sorry, I'm putting you on the spot, but any final things you'd like to share with any potential international students or their parents who are watching this?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, as I mentioned earlier, I was a student here, so I've gone through the experience. I know what it's like to leave home. My home is actually 3,000 miles away from Massachusetts. I'm originally from a different part of the country, and so I was in that position of leaving home and coming to a new state and being, not knowing anyone and being alone. And this university really knows how to make students feel supported and how to get the most out of their experience. So I mentioned this earlier, but because of the smaller size, you get really personalized attention from faculty and staff. I mean, there's so many international students who will just come and walk by the office and just say hi because they're just passing by the building. We stress a close-knit community, and it's a really supportive environment. So parents, students, you're welcome to come visit us anytime, and we hope that we'll see you soon.
Awesome. And for everyone watching this, Rachel and we're the people behind the screen. So if you have any questions, if you want more information, I'm sure Rachel would be happy to speak with you, help you with your decision-making process. Myself included. And, when you arrive on campus, as Rachel mentioned, students are always walking by saying hi, you're going to see her when you're there. So I think that's really nice to just already know a friendly face who's going to be on campus when you arrive. So Rachel, real quick, before we wrap up, I'm going to go ahead and share the screen and let students know how they can find out more information about Western New England University and how they can start the application process. So I'm going to share real quick. Here we go. All right, so this is applywave.com. If you already have your account, you can just go ahead and click login. If not, it's free to set up the account, so just click sign up, and you can do that either connecting through your Facebook, Gmail, or just set up your own login credentials. Now, for Western New England University, you can find them under the bachelor's and master's degree section. They offer both, which is wonderful. I'm going to look under bachelor's degrees, and here where it says, where do you want to study? You can simply start typing in Western New England University. Click on that, click search. Here's the pre-profile where you'll be able to see some, just basic details about the school. But if you want more information, click read more. Here you can see this beautiful campus with those leaves that Rachel was talking about. Absolutely gorgeous. You'll be able to find some more details about the admissions requirements, all the different programs you're able to choose from. You can see there are quite a few here, where they're at on the map. And again, more pictures and videos of that campus, which is incredible. And then if you're ready to move forward with the application or just inquire, you can click this easy apply button. And as I mentioned before, we are the people who are behind the screen who will help you through that entire process. And we're looking forward to chatting with you. So Rachel, again, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I'm really looking forward to hosting you again sometime soon. And students, don't be afraid to reach out. We're here to help. All right. So thank you so much, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye, everyone.